Hello and welcome to the Backroads and welcome back to Project 944. Today we're going to be changing some stuff over from our previous Project 944 S2 over to the new one. Now if you haven't seen our first video on that, link will be somewhere there or there for you to be able to do that. But that's what we're going to be doing today, so let's start changing some parts over. So, this is Project 944, as you've seen in the original video. If you haven't watched that yet, link will be somewhere there, I think, for you to go and watch it. It's a little bit dirty, so before we do any major work to it, we're going to clean it up, snow foam it, wipe it down. We won't do a full detail today, and then get it in the garage and start playing. So naturally the first step of any of our project car videos is that we give the car a quick clean over. Now we're not detailing the car today, it's just going to be a very super quick wash down with a snow foam, which I don't think we've actually ever used on the channel before. Right, so all snow foamed up and now we're rinsing down and getting all of the residue off, and then we're going to take it inside. We are going to change the steering wheel. We're going to fix the rear heated windshield, which is fantastic. We're also changing some of the interior lights with parts from the old one, and possibly K&N filter, the distributor, and the badge. Maybe the badge, possibly, we'll see. And with one quick wipe down in order, it's time to get on with the wheel. So before we go on any further, we've actually had a delivery today of some parts. Well, not some parts, but some tools. As you can see here, we're starting to build a little bit of a collection. Not sponsored, by the way, but I bought some parts because the time you're seeing this it isn't my birthday, but today the day we're filming, and it is. So there you go, there's my birthday present for myself.
He's treated himself.
I've treated myself. So I have purchased an combi drill and light and sander. Now I need to find a way of cutting this open. There we go. Right. So in here we have new combi drill, which is fantastic for the new tool wall that we're going to be putting on this wall here. There's going to be a rack and we're going to have all of our tools on there so we can grab them straight away, which is great. Lovely new shiny Raybrig combi drill. We might actually get some use out of that today, to be honest, with some of the stuff we need to take off. So that's good. I also have a torch, which is good. Oh, you can aim it. That's quite cool. It's like a searchlight. So that's great, but most importantly, because of the amount of tools we're now starting to collect, I've got some extra batteries now as well. So we can actually use more than one tool at a time, which is fantastic. But enough with the unboxing. Let's start getting to work. Right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to change this. It is genuine Momo, but it doesn't really suit the car. So we're going to change it over for our other one that I showed you earlier, which should really tidy up the look of the interior. We changed the gauge bezels on our old one, and we added some kind of like chrome silver lips around them. Now, I liked the idea of the gauge bezels, but the silver didn't quite work. So, do I get a second set and spray them black to see if we can get a raised dial look that's in the 964s and 930s? I would like to try that. I think it would look good. Let me know what you think in the comments. Fortunately, because this already has an aftermarket steering wheel, it's super easy to replace because my Momo will go straight onto it. Right, so let's have a look at what's actually going on here. Ah, okay. So we can probably do it. I didn't need to take the boss off in the first place.
What he's done is he's taken bolt. Wait, what?
There
are bolt holes in here.
There's bolt holes.
But this is a separate bolt hole.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes.
And then obviously, where's the old one gone? It's in there.
It's not particularly out of character though, is it? At least we know now.
Yeah, for the next time we have to change the steering wheel, which should not be frequent.
You never know. You never know. That makes installing it a bit easier though.
It does.
Last time we tried installing the steering wheel on the 944, we ended up having it wonky, which was very interesting. And Liam was driving sideways for a bit.
Do you want to know what's worse about that though? Is we got that car aligned with the wheel in that position. So It's not particularly good. Oh well, it drove straight afterwards. So. Well, immediately that already looks nicer.
Oh, that's really familiar now. It looks like another 944 I've seen before.
Oh no, imagine that.
We've discovered that this is a certified, if it's on there, 2002, February 22? God damn it.
But we have worked out that that is February 2002 that was made, which explains why it's such horrible taste, because this is like a max power Aero Momo wheel, I feel like.
Yes.
It does not suit this car at all. It looks like it would belong in like a 206 with a fiberglass wide body on it.
Yeah. Jared, what have you just done?
I just broke Liam's door lock very temporarily for about 5 minutes. I pushed this in like that.
Have you just done it again?
I didn't realise how soft it would be.
Why are you like this? Why can't we do anything right?
Here we go. It's fixed.
Okay, so the good news is that I can get back inside my car, and we have fitted the old new steering wheel to the car, and man, it looks so much better. I love it so much. That was definitely a good choice. And yeah, it's all sorted now, and happy days, horn works and all that sort of stuff. So properly chuffed with that. Okay, so next up, we're going to be fitting the K&N panel filter that was in the old 944 onto the new 944. So Jared is currently spannering and is slowly but surely taking all of the screws off the panel. This will be interesting because we don't know if this is a stock air filter in this or if it's already been upgraded. So if it's been upgraded, why is the sound so bad? And if it has been upgraded, what has it been upgraded with?
I feel like with the history of this car, it's probably all pretty standard.
Yeah.
The only thing that there's been a weird mod to it is the steering wheel, which I'm going to assume was one weird owner in, well, the early 2000s when they were dirt cheap. It's going well. The German society used 2 different bolts for the same job right next to each other.
You seem surprised.
Disgusted. I'm not surprised, but I'm disappointed.
Essentially, as well as the 4 panels or 4 screws along here, there is one here, but there's also one here, which you should be able to, if I zoom in, you should be able to just about see there. So those need to come out, and then this whole panel lifts off. That's easier. Look at that. Lovely jubbly. What's it like underneath? That's not bad, actually. I'm very keen to see what we've got in this. If I would imagine
I can tell you already.
Is it stock?
It's a Mao blueprint one.
Okay.
Not K&N.
Not K&N.
Which is what you want.
Right, so, although, actually,
It's an airbox, mate.
although, Jesus, the filter itself is incredibly clean. So I would imagine that this has only been fitted fairly recently.
They might have done
They've
that
probably done it when
with the service.
With the service before I bought the car, which is fantastic. Although we want some induction noise, so we're going to fit the K&N filter. We've got a turbo nose going on this car. We're going to be doing an S2 modification that I don't really think I've ever seen done before, which is where we're going to be trying to replace this here with an air filter with that nose cone. So in theory, although we are restricted by the 80s, 90s tech AFM, we should be able to get more cold air into the AFM for better spark and a bigger bang. So in theory, it should gain marginal amounts of horsepower. Now we're talking 4, 5 max really. But what it does do is it also gives really good induction noise. So although we don't really gain anything power-wise, we do get a really cool looking front end and we do get induction noise. So with the air filter now replaced, it was time to get the nose panel back onto the car and ready to go for our next task. So you know how I said that I wasn't going to do anything in this video about the rear tail lights? Well, I lied. So for those of you that aren't aware and maybe potentially haven't watched the video, Link will be there or there, one of the two. We're going to be replacing the rear tail lights on the new Project 944 with the original tail lights on the old Project 944. Main reason being is the current ones are smoked and I don't really like the look, but we're not keeping them stock. What we're doing is we're going to be changing the amber lens on the indicator to clear. Main reason for that, frankly, is because the front has clear lenses, so why shouldn't the rear? And that way it tidies up front and back, and it looks a little bit more modern, as this is a 90s aged model car rather than the early 80 versions, which I think suit the amber light. So what are we going to be replacing it with? We are replacing it with one of these, a clear indicator lens. So essentially what we have to do is we have to knock out the amber indicator lens, get rid of all of the stuff and gunk in the recesses, and then put this on over the top. Now, it's a long, laborious process, so I'm not going to include the full restoration in this video because we're actually going to put it in another video. We're doing an entire lighting overhaul on the car where we change the front headlamps to Raybrig clear lenses, and we'll do a comparison of nighttime driving on that, as well as the rear, the indicators, and the interior lights. So if you're interested in that, be sure to stick around. But let's get into it a little bit more. Now, I would be lying to you if I said that this process didn't require destruction, because it quite frankly does. It might seem counterproductive to be this harsh with the indicator lens, however, it is the easiest way I have found to make clean brakes. Now, as I said previously, this is going to be covered in so much more detail in an upcoming video, but my best tips for doing this is take your time and do it slowly. There are already some small mistakes that I have made in this process that I would prefer to warn you about before you start smashing up your tail lenses, so be sure to stick around for a video on that in the future. So because it's actually quite a long process, I'm not going to be showing you the entire restoration process today. That will be in the video that I said. It will be somewhere up here if it is already out. If it isn't, be sure to subscribe if you're interested in seeing us doing an overview on the lighting. But pretty good progress so far, but that's not today's video. Let's get on with the gas struts and the HT leads. Okay, so slight change in plan. I've started restoring all of the struts on both sides over there on the workbench. Problem is, this side has the correct clip. If I can try and get it to focus, is it going to work? You're going to decide to do a good thing today? There we go. So this side has the correct clip, and I'll just highlight it for you there. This side has had a bit of odd things going on, so I need to get one of those clips first before I can actually hook it up. So we will do that another time, and for now we will get on with some engine stuff.
In typical TBR fashion, something has gone horribly wrong. You'll notice that that one very much does not have a head on it, nor does it have a screw inside. That one doesn't have a head on it, but it does have a screw still inside. So why is it that nothing on this channel can ever go right? So it's being stubborn. It doesn't want to move, so we're going to leave it for now because it doesn't stop us from doing the ignition system on this car. I mean, at least it's actually come off. So let's do that instead.
Now, did I need to replace the distributor? Well, not really. It was running fine, no problem. But considering we had replaced the distributor on the old Project 944 car literally only earlier this year, it felt silly not to have the brand new one that we purchased and put it on the new Project 944. And the distributor can make a difference to how well your engine runs. Now, this engine is running fine, but there's no harm in upgrading and replacing the distributor to ensure that this engine is running as smoothly as it possibly can. So that's it for this video. Thank you ever so much for watching. If you did enjoy, please do leave a like below and be sure to subscribe to the channel for more 944 content. Take care, we'll catch you in the next one.